This episode of Moving Panels is brought to you by...
Dive into fun at Aquaman's Atlantis Adventure Water Park, the splashiest place under the sea and on land. Brave enough to conquer the Trident Twister? It's the only slide that comes with a free whirlpool spin cycle. Or take on the Wave of Justice, guaranteed to make you feel like you've been slapped by a tuna. Meet our staff of friendly dolphins. Our lifeguards? Sharks! But don't worry, they're on a strictly vegetarian diet, mostly. Hungry? Visit the Poseidon Cafe for our famous crab cake delight made by crabs for crabs, but you can eat them too. Ever wanted to chat with a jellyfish? Aquaman's giving free fish communication lessons every Friday. Warning, jellyfish are terrible conversationalists. Find us at Pier 7, just follow the giant seahorse. Aquaman's Atlantis Adventure Water Park. Splash in today!
Welcome to this Moving Panels One Shot. Let's have a nerdy little conversation. And I know it has been a while, but life sometimes gets the better of you. So we are finally bringing back. Ruby is watching the MCU, and we have finally, after I think we were going well, and then there was just a really long time to do Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, because our living room is too bright to watch that movie.
So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, here's Ruby to talk about Phase 4 of the MCU. So she's pretty much caught up because Phase 5 has not officially ended yet.
No.
So that one we kind of, I think we've seen everything in Phase 5 except for Quantumania.
Yeah.
So now again, we're not talking about the shows. We're only talking about the movies.
There are too many shows in this phase.
So we have seen most of them, but yeah, we're gonna leave those alone. So let's go ahead and get into this. This all kicked off with Black Widow. Now, we actually originally saw Black Widow when it dropped back in 2020.
Yeah.
And we were able to get it through Disney Plus, and we paid to be able to watch it. But you did watch it again for this, yeah.
It was worth it.
So go ahead, Ruby. What was your overall thoughts of Black Widow?
I really liked Black Widow. I mean, it's bringing back Natasha just to tell us her backstory. Even though she's already died in the MCU, they're bringing her back to tell her backstory before her death, before she was a part of the Avengers, before the...
Well, no, she was already Avenger.
Oh.
During this story.
I forgot.
This was when she was kind of on the run during Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when she was trying to avoid capture.
Okay, so before Endgame, that stuff is during Civil War. It's a really good movie, and I think it really shows how life was very difficult for Black Widow during Civil War. And it really shows her family. It shows her family.
Mm-hmm.
It shows.
Which, let's get into that. What did you think about your introduction to Yelena?
She's really cool. I like that character.
Yeah. And then now, of course, these aren't her actual blood-related family, as we find out. But what did you think about her dad, Red Guardian?
He was pretty cool.
Because, the two of them are supposed to come back in a movie called The Thunderbolts.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What did you think of Taskmaster as the villain?
You mean the guy that, manipulated...
No. Taskmaster was you end up finding out it was a woman. It was, I believe it ended up being his daughter. And yeah, she could mimic all of the other heroes. She knew exactly what they were going to do.
Yeah, I remember that. It took me a minute, but...
Well, what did you think about that character? Because people who know the comics weren't real thrilled with that character. So since you don't really know what Taskmaster is like in the comic books, I'm curious as to just blind reaction. What was your thoughts about Taskmaster as the villain in this?
I think she's a pretty powerful villain, honestly. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me on that because they've read comics.
Yeah, but again, this is your point of view from someone who's not as familiar with the comics and the source material. So I was just curious what your thoughts were on this character.
I think she's a really strong villain because I think, like, no other villain would really know. Unless they knew the superhero really well, they wouldn't know the tactics of the villain, superhero, I mean.
That's supposedly supposed to be Taskmaster's, like, power, like, ability is to mimic. All right, anything else on Black Widow? You ready to move on?
I think I'm ready to move on.
All right, and we move on to one of my personal favorites, Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wasn't that my introduction to Aquafina?
Maybe, yeah. Although you had probably heard her voice in Raya and the Last Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, once I figured out, like, who she is.
Yeah.
Now she is one of my favorite actors, but...
All right, but what were your thoughts on Shang-Chi?
It was really good. I really liked it. I think it had, like, a good plot to it, and it is a really good movie.
That's all we got there. It's a really good movie.
Sorry.
That's okay. So, what did you think about them bringing back the actor dude from Iron Man 3?
I'm sorry, that got me.
Like, did you expect that character to actually return?
No. No. That was actually really surprising.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to what you talk about surprising some people. Let's talk about the Eternals.
Oh
no. Go ahead and let everybody know your thoughts about the Eternals.
Oh no. One of my favorites.
Yes, Ruby actually really likes the Eternals. Like, really enjoyed it. Couldn't stop talking about it. Even had a bunch of, or ended up getting some Funko Pops. And your favorite character being who?
Sprite.
Okay. So you're gonna have to share with people why. And I guess we're gonna go ahead and say this was your favorite movie of the phase.
Oh yes.
Yes. Okay. So let's just go ahead and take care of it. Why do you like the Eternals so much?
I think I really like it because I really like stuff where it's like they're not from, like, Earth. They're pretending to be humans and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I really like the characters and their powers. I just like the movie. I really like the movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good movie for me, in my opinion.
So nothing else about it? Why is Sprite your favorite character?
I really like her powers, and I like that she is, like, basically not even close a kid.
Yeah.
But
although she's supposed to be hundreds of years old, or thousands of years old, really. Yeah. But she's stuck in the body of a child.
Yeah. And so she wants to, like, find love, but she's not old enough, so she has to, like, turn herself into this, like, a grown woman, but like, if they tried to, like, touch her hand, they'll go right through it.
Because it's just an illusion.
It's just an illusion.
So that one actually, more so than Black Widow kind of set up Hawkeye, the series. Shang-Chi kind of made it known at the end that there's some message being sent out through the rings. But the Eternals actually introduced us to new characters.
Yep.
So not only the Eternals themselves, but in the end credits, we get introduced to Star Fox, played by Harry Styles, who is the brother of Thanos. So we get introduced to him. And then there's another scene where you see Dane open the chest, which is supposed to contain the ebony sword. And you hear a voice, telling him, I forgot the exact line, and I think I told you that voice is a character named Blade. But we have not seen anything come of those. Nothing with Harry Styles, nothing with Blade. Hopefully the Blade movie's coming soon. I really, really hope. All right. So anything else about the Eternals? Do you want them to do a sequel?
Yes.
Do you want to see the Eternals in like the next Avengers movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't think that maybe they're too powerful because they're essentially gods?
I mean,
technically so is Thor.
And I honestly think Wanda is more powerful than them.
Okay. And what did you think about there is now a head and a hand protruding out of Earth?
Yeah. That's freaky.
Yeah. Which I think they've only referenced it in one of the other either movies or series, but I can't remember which one. So
I don't remember either.
All right. So the last time you did a one shot, we talked about you watching all of the Spider-Man movies, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man movies. You, of course, had already seen the other Tom Holland ones because of them being part of the MCU. But we wanted you to see all the other Spider-Man movies because we wanted you to be prepared for Spider-Man No Way Home, where Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield actually team up.
And they're villains.
Yeah, and the villains. And you end up with this crossover movie that unites all of that in a multiverse. So what were your thoughts on Spider-Man No Way Home?
That's the second best movie in Phase 4.
Okay. So your second favorite?
Yeah.
All right. So what did you think about seeing all of those, seeing Tobey Maguire show up and Andrew
really
Garfield
cool.
show up? And so you had 3 Spider-Mans.
That was
Spider-Men?
really cool.
Spider-Mans? Which way would you say that?
I would say Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? Okay. Sounds like somebody's last name. Hi, I'm Ted Spider-Man.
No, the Thundermans.
Yes. Okay. All right, anything you want to talk about with No Way Home? Anything you liked?
I really like that scene where Doc Ock was like going off after the Tom Holland Spider-Man, even though that's Tobey's Spider-Man.
Because he removes his mask and he goes, "You're not Peter."
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
He's just going like, wait, what are you talking about? Yes, I am.
All right, what did you think about the ending to that one with pretty much everybody's... actually, before we get to that, what did you think about the death of Aunt May?
That's really sad. It was... That's actually really sad. Because that's really his only family member left.
Yeah.
That could take care of him.
Well, he doesn't really need to be taken care of so much anymore because he's also now graduated from high school. There was the whole thing about what college was he going to get into. But yeah, and then of course Aunt May ends up being the one who gets the, with great power comes great responsibility line.
Yeah. I mean, there isn't Uncle Ben to say that.
No,
so.
at least, yeah, we've never known of an Uncle Ben in the Tom Holland version of Spider-Man. Did you get the feel that essentially what we have watched in these 3 Tom Holland movies, ending with this one, that it essentially was just a really long origin story for this Spider-Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now he's truly the Spider-Man that he's meant to
Because
be.
he gets the comic book costume.
Yes, at the end, he's got more of a comic accurate costume. He's no longer, Iron Man Jr.
Yeah.
as he was in the previous movies. But what were your thoughts on the fact that now MJ and Ned don't even know who he is?
No one knows who he is. That's really sad because he lost Aunt May and now he's lost everyone.
Yeah. But do you think that maybe MJ does know who he is? Because if you remember, when he sees her at the end in the restaurant, the cafe, she is wearing that necklace that he gave her. Do you think maybe she'll be able to remember who he is?
Maybe she's kind of going like, I remember that face. Where have I seen that before? Have I bumped into him somewhere? Like something like that is what she's probably thinking.
Yeah. I am curious to see where it goes, because clearly they know Spider-Man, but no one knows Peter Parker. So I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with that and how they're going to play that out. All right?
Wait. I had saw something that said Peter was not invited to Aunt May's funeral because no one remembered who Peter was.
No one knew who he was.
That's even sadder.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing about talking with Happy Hogan when he does go to her gravesite. And Happy Hogan, who, was very fond of Aunt May, even doesn't know who he is and is it's very sad. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with that. All right, so let's move on to one of the more bizarre movies.
Yeah.
And speaking of Spider-Man, Sam Raimi, who directed the Tobey Maguire movies, came back to direct this one, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So we got a little bit of a
creepy.
little bit of a horror element with this one. So what were your thoughts on Multiverse of Madness? And you mentioned Wanda earlier, Wanda being the villain.
It was so creepy. I liked the movie. It was so creepy.
And then we get introduced to America Chavez, new character.
Yeah. She's very cool. I
You
really
liked her?
like her character.
What'd you think about I had to explain a little bit of it to you while we watched it, but when we're introduced to the Illuminati, you had Rambo as their version of Captain Marvel. Then you had Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah.
You had Captain Carter.
Yeah.
Which I know you were a big fan of seeing her in live action.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you had Black Bolt and then of course Professor X, who you were not familiar with because we didn't go back and watch the X-Men movie, so you weren't familiar with Professor X and Patrick Stewart being the actor who played him. But
I have watched X-Men 97.
Yes,
so.
you have since watched X-Men 97, so you're a little bit more familiar with that.
Yeah.
But you didn't know the Patrick Stewart was Professor X from the movies from the early 2000s. But what were your thoughts on?
But now in his fancy wheelchair.
So what were your thoughts on all of that?
1 second. Spoiler alert. I couldn't say that right. I think Captain Carter's death was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Her shield just coming back to her and her just watching it, not even trying to catch it or anything. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I also had problem with Captain Marvel, their version of Captain Marvel, Rambo, just getting squished by a statue. Like, she's supposed to be one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and she's taken out by just a statue falling on top of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's no.
Now, Mr. Fantastic's death, that was rough.
No.
And then, of course, And then Black Bolt gets his head caved in. So, all right. And then the ending. Now you said spoiler alert. I mean, we've spoiled stuff already before all that. But the ending. Do you think that Wanda is dead?
No.
Okay. So I can tell you that Marvel has released some stuff implying that was her death. And the new Agatha series that they're making for Disney Plus, there's apparently something also in it that implies that she died. Again, hey, look, it's comic book stuff. People can always come back. We've now opened this multiverse, so there's always stuff that can happen. But but the actual our version of of Scarlet Witch, our version of Scarlet Witch, this version of Wanda, you do not think that when that temple collapsed.
I mean, what if brought Black Widow back? So,
No.
I mean, anything can happen.
No. All right, so we go from the dark and creepy to the goofy
and majestic.
And we get Thor Love and Thunder, where you got to see Jane Foster wield Mjolnir and become the mighty Thor.
Yeah.
So what were your thoughts on yeah, it of course does not end real well for her. So what were your thoughts on Thor Love and Thunder?
It was really good. I really liked Valkyrie, is that her name?
Yes.
Got it.
Because she's now the king of Asgard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jane had a sad part in it, but
which was just like in the comics. She's dying of cancer, and she becomes worthy of the power of Thor, and as long as she is Thor, she's fine. But when she's not Thor, of course, the cancer
gets stronger.
Yeah, it is believed that it's fighting back harder when she is no longer Thor. What do you think about Gore, the God Killer, as the villain?
That he's creepy.
Yeah.
He's very creepy.
Now, I can't remember if I told you this. Did I tell you that actor is also known for playing Batman?
No, you did not tell me that.
Yeah, he was Batman in the Batman trilogy of Christopher Nolan. Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. That was the same actor that played Batman in all of those.
Cool.
Yeah. What'd you think of the ending where Thor essentially gains a daughter?
That's sad again, yet very happy. And that is his real daughter.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if I told you that. That's actually Chris Hemsworth's real life daughter. So, and you liked at the end where they both, with Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, they both go out to battle that army at the end.
Yeah, that's cute.
All right, and then finally the one we just recently watched, because as Ruby was talking about earlier, we tried to watch it a while back. And very, very near the beginning, if those of you who've seen the movie, when it gets to like I'm just gonna call them Atlanteans, but when the underwater people attack the ship and it's very dark, we were trying to watch this in the middle of the day, and our TV just could not handle showing us. And even when we watched it late at night, it was still very hard to see.
Yeah.
But we finally watched Wakanda Forever. Of course, this was the farewell to Chadwick Boseman, who had played the Black Panther, T'Challa. But we are introduced to Namor, who is one of the original Marvel characters, and pretty much one of their original, along with a character called the Human Torch, not the same as the Fantastic Four one. And then we also get a new Black Panther in Shuri. Who becomes the new Black Panther in this one. But we also see the death of Queen Ramonda.
Yeah.
Tragically, the great Angela Bassett. And And then at the very end, we find out that T'Challa actually had a son. And whether or not they're going to move forward with him and him maybe becoming the Black Panther, I do not know. But I do know that you made some notes on this one. So
Yes.
So what do you have to say about Wakanda Forever?
Okay. So, I forgot his name, but when the bad guy...
Namor.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When he gets his, like, wings, like, cut off by Shuri, my reaction just, ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
It's crazy that he has wings on his ankles and he's able to fly. Like, you would think the balance wouldn't really work.
No. I would try and I'd just be like, oh my gosh, I'm flying. Ah!
No.
But I have another one, again, in the same battle. But, where, when he stabs Shuri, I just go like, my first reaction was like, oh no. Second reaction, she won't die. She's the main character. Third reaction, wait a minute, this is Marvel. Fourth reaction, oh no.
Yeah, Marvel's got no problem killing off some characters. But
Good
no.
thing she didn't die. But
All right, anything else about Wakanda Forever? So what do you think they
Riri.
Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. We're introduced to Riri Williams, aka Ironheart. And you got to see her original suit and then the one she gets made in Wakanda, which she then had to leave in Wakanda. So that means if we ever see her again, there's got to be something where she's able to get her suit back from Wakanda.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on Riri Williams?
She's a really fun character.
I thought you would like her right off the bat. Kind of a no-nonsense, smart, intelligent young woman. I knew you two would have something in common. What are your thoughts about the whole Black Panther thing? Like, if they do when they do the next Avenger movies, should it continue to be Shuri, or should they have it where now, and of course they'd have to do a little bit of years have passed, and have T'Challa's son? Should they have him become the Black Panther?
Honestly, I think Shuri should stay the Black Panther.
Okay.
Let's wait for his son to get older before we make him the Black Panther.
Yeah, but I mean, we can always do some time jumps.
True.
You got to remember Infinity War to Endgame, even though it was just a year of our life, it was 5 years in the DC world. Or
And,
DC
like,
world, the Marvel world.
1 week in my life.
Yeah. So, all right. So you said there were 7 movies in this. You said Eternals was your favorite. No Way Home was second. Let's just go ahead and rank the other ones.
Okay.
So what follows No Way Home?
Multiverse of Madness.
Okay. So Multiverse of Madness at number 3.
Wakanda Forever.
Wakanda Forever at 4.
Black Widow.
Black Widow at 5.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi at 6, which puts Thor: Love and Thunder as your least favorite.
I wouldn't put it as that. It's just...
Well, I'm not saying it's the one you disliked. I'm just saying it's your least favorite. You know? Yeah. So, all right. So you looking forward to what is to come with whatever they decide to do with Phase 5?
Yes.
And again, we haven't seen Quantumania, which was actually the first movie of Phase 5. But you have seen the Marvels.
I'm a little worried because people have said Quantumania is not a good movie.
Yeah, there's been a little bit of, I think, a downgrade with some of these movies, but
I really like Ant-Man movies.
yeah,
So.
I mean, it could end up being fun, but we'll talk about that obviously once you finish up with Phase 5. But this was Ruby's take on her thoughts on Phase 4, and now we move on. We got to go back and see some of the shows that we've missed. But you know, we've seen the majority of them. I mean, you saw She-Hulk.
Yeah.
You've seen. Did you see the first season of Loki?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, but we haven't seen the second season. We haven't seen Secret Invasion. You of course have watched all of What If.
Yeah.
Because you love What If.
First and second.
Yeah. And then whatever other series. Like you said, there's a lot of them out there. So
WandaVision.
yeah, but WandaVision was even before Phase 4. But
Was
anywho,
it?
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
No, it was the first thing in Phase
was?
4. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like I said, we don't really count the shows as part of this.
Yeah.
So, all right, we'll go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you, Ruby, for, I know it's been a while, but thank you for coming back. And we, of course, will be very happy to have you back on, whether it's for Phase 5 or whether it's coming back on just to do a full review episode. So,
Wait, can I do your outro music again?
if that's what you want to do. All right, thanks, everybody, for listening to this one shot. We'll go ahead and end things here. For today, for Moving Panels, I'm Laramy Wells, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Bye.